Welcome, brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. This here is just a quick sketch that I did of Sanji. Certainly trying to learn the art style, the manga art style, and it has been fun. One Piece, Chapter 44, Three Tough Cooks. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as per usual, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the wonderfully crafted and essentially just great tale of One Piece. The last chapter left us with things kind of starting to stir up. We were introduced to Sanji, one of the new characters that we met, as well as the head chef, Chef Zeff, who has a peg leg. We were left off with Luffy, being brought in and admitting to, bouncing that cannonball from Iron Fist's ship accidentally, of course, and hitting Chef Zeff and hurting him, damaging his establishment. And he has been told that Luffy can pay off his debt by working for him for a year. So that is where we were left off, and that is where we start. And it starts out, rather comical, because Luffy's like, whoa, a year? No, I'll do a week. That's it, And the chef says, you don't get to decide what you do. You hurt me, you injured me, you damaged my establishment, And Luffy says, listen, I've been waiting 10 years to become a pirate, okay? I'm not waiting a whole nother year just to go and try to work off some debt. So anyway, Chef Zeff over there gets upset, and he goes, you're not going to tell me what I'm the one that makes up, what's going to happen on my ship. And then he goes peg leg kick and just jacks Luffy, nails him to the side. And Luffy kind of boing, hits the ground, and then he says, listen, there's got to be something that I can do. I can't be here for a whole year, So Chef goes, well, there is one thing that you can do. He says, you can give me a leg, because he's obviously missing a leg. He's a peg leg over there, And he goes and he pulls out this a big saw, like a big hacksaw, and and he goes, you give me one of your legs. And Luffy's like, no, I'm not doing that. And he says to himself, he's like, what does he think I am, Buggy? Because if you remember Buggy the Clown, of course, eating the devil fruit that he did, the chop fruit, he's able to, pull apart parts of his body. And at any rate, I just thought it was comical. So Luffy, says, no, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. And then he goes and he's like, leg drop, and he jumps up in the air. And then it kind of ends that scene and transitions us to the next one. So the page turns and we're introduced to the third chef or cook, and his name is Patty Cook. And he kind of seems like he's a bit more muscle-headed brawn than brains, because we see him kind of rehearsing about, the customers are important, the customer is always right, and he's rehearsing these things over and over again of what he's going to say, and the customer it's the lifeblood of our business, And so he comes walking down the hall, and he's kind of like SpongeBob SquarePants, He's just so excited about work and everything. And so he comes down the hall and turns around the corner, and what does he see to his amazement but Sanji having, beaten and bloodied a customer, Iron Fist, obviously, for being the little bitch that he is. And and he's just kind of like, Sanji, again? What are you doing? What are you doing to the customers? So Sanji, explains, he says, he's basically this arrogant piece of crap. And, he wasted food. He insulted us, insulted the cooks and us. So he had to be dealt with. And so Patty Cook, he kind of starts going at it with him, and he wants to get up into his face. And Sanji goes and nails him. The whole time, Iron Fist is bloodied and sitting on the ground over here. And he goes and says, oh, this is a garbage establishment, and there's bugs in the food, and the service is crap. I'm going to have you shut down, because of course he's the minister of the Navy. He's high up in there, and he's going to throw his weight around to try to be a little bitch about this, And Sanji goes and turns his attention towards him and says, shut me down? Shut this restaurant down? You're out of your mind. So he goes to come at him again, right? And winds up getting held by, Patty and some of the other people there and whatnot. And they're like, he's going to kill the lieutenant if he gets to him. So somebody runs and gets, I think it was Patty, runs and gets Chef Zeff, who had been dealing with Luffy. And they're kind of talking to each other, and Zeff is trying to blame, when he jumped up in the air, he broke the roof of his area there, and he's trying to explain to Luffy that that's his fault too. And Luffy's like, no, it's your fault. You're the one who jumped up in the air to try to do this leg drop on me or whatever. So Anyway, Chef Zeff is informed of what happens, what's going on. Sanji's, doing this, he's going to tear the place up. So Chef Zeff comes out there and he's like, what are you trying to ruin me? And I mean, he nails Sanji. Sanji is pissed, man. He grabs him and just slams him. Out of my way, you too. You're all a bunch of idiots, And like I said, it's pretty cool. Like I said, it moves really quickly, from panel to panel. It's pretty action-packed. And all overall, I think just is really kind of neat. And then we go and we see all of a sudden, after all this commotion and stuff that's been going on, and Luffy, of course, recognizes Iron Fist as the cannon man, the guy that, fired upon them and started this whole chain of events. And anyway, then we kind of get a shot over to the doorway, and somebody comes kind of, hobbling in or whatever, and he says, oh, Lieutenant, I'm so sorry, but we lost the prisoner. The prisoner has escaped. And Iron Fist is like, what? What are you talking about? How did he escape? We captured him 3 days ago, and he was basically, starving and dying, and we still haven't fed him since then, So this officer, says to him, this crew member or whatever, says to him, he says, he escaped, and he beat 7 of our guys to escape, So we find out that this is one of Captain Krieg's pirates, and from what we gather and what we've been told, and again, I'm new to this whole One Piece. This is all, I have no idea who this Captain Krieg is, but apparently he's a terror of the seas. His crew is one of the hardest, roughest, toughest bunches, that to sail the Grand Line. So we kind of find that out, and then and then from that point, as he gets all that out of his mouth, and of course he's standing in the doorway, to the interior of this part of the restaurant. All of a sudden we go and we hear a gunshot, or see a gunshot happen. The officer falls to the ground, and we actually see the escaped pirate, one of Krieg's pirates. So he kind of goes and wanders in, and sits down at a table, and everybody's like, whoa, because this guy's got a gun, and he's this badass, right? And he can hardly even stand, and he just kind of falls into a seat, and he says, this is an eating establishment, isn't it? Give me some food, give me anything, right? So Patty Cook comes over, and remember the big block-headed one, he comes over and he says, gets in his face, and he says, do you have any money? And he goes, pulls the gun out, and puts it right to Patty's forehead, and says, does lead count? And Patty, with a gun to his forehead, says, no money, no food. And he just throws him down, breaks the table, and he has no power to fight back. He's so weakened from what happened. Patty goes and just whips him down and says, you're not a customer. He says, he just wants some food. He wants anything. And Patty says, you don't have any money? You're not a customer. That's the lifeblood of this place, and I wouldn't give you yesterday's rice. And he winds up just throwing him out and down the stairs. Where we find Sanji just sitting there relaxing, smoking his cigarette after everything that's happened, and Sanji kicks a plate of food over to him and says, here you go, go ahead and eat this. So he just eats it right up, and he's so excited, and he's, oh my God, thank you, this is the best stuff that I've ever had, I'm so undeserving of it, thank you. And so obviously, like I said, we see that Sanji was the one that gave it to him, and that's how the chapter ends up from there. But in the last panel before the volume ends, we just have Luffy go, oh, hey, I found you, my cook. Because as we know, that's what he came here for, was to pick up a cook. And he was told that Sanji was the man for the job. So we are certainly left hanging and eager to dive into Volume 6. Let me know what you think, brothers and sisters, in the comments down below. Please don't forget to throw me a like if you think I deserve it. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Take it easy, and we will catch you in the next one, Nation. As always, thank you for watching, brothers and sisters. Be sure to subscribe and take a look at some of my other videos. Thanks. See you next time, Nation.